Helmets, buckets, buckies, lids, chrome domes, whatever you may call them, helmets are the topic of today's video. They aren't the most glamorous or coolest piece of equipment, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that every single player in the NHL today has to wear a helmet, so let's look at which players wear which ones. As always, this equipment analysis is brought to you by our good friends over at Gear Geek. Check out their website for in-depth equipment tracking on 754 NHL players. And of course, check out our channel for my videos on the most popular sticks, the most popular skates, the most popular gloves, and even our hockey games if that's something you're into. As I record this video on Saturday, January 13th, there are 754 players which we know what helmets they wear. 3 different companies with their helmets in the NHL and 20 different helmet models being used. CCM leads the way amongst the 3 companies, having 357 players or 47.35% of the NHL wearing their buckets. Bauer comes in second place with 319 players or 42.31% of the league. And then lastly, 66 players or 8.65% of the league wear Warrior helmets today. So right away it jumps out to me that according to Gear Geek, not one player is wearing a true helmet in the NHL. Anyways, back to the 3 brands that are represented here. CCM and Bauer carry majority of the load as per usual. Looking a little bit deeper at this, I found it interesting that even though CCM has more total users in the league than Bauer, Bauer has the single most popular helmet, which we'll get to in a second, and has way more helmet options being used. There are currently 11 different Bauer models in the NHL, while CCM only has 6 models in use. So now that we know the breakdown of the brands, the moment you've all been waiting for, let's get into the specific models and which players use which. But first, hit that subscribe button. In order to keep growing and making these videos for you guys, subscribing and commenting is the best way you can support the brand. Comment what helmet you wear, what helmet you like, what helmet you really dislike or think looks goofy, and anything you want to tell me about hockey in general, comment it down below. Without further ado, the single most popular helmet in the NHL today is the Bauer Re-Akt 150 with 178 players wearing it, or 23.61% of the NHL. We first saw it in December 2018, and now today it's worn by the likes of Quinn Hughes, Anze Kopitar, Charlie McAvoy, and William Nylander. It's a great helmet and is actually what I wear myself, as I find it really comfortable. It's not too tight and is also very customizable to your head shape and size. I won't bore you with the full details of the composition of the helmet, but Bauer's comfort pods have a lot to do with this new model being so comfy. Last but not least, this helmet currently goes for $270 Canadian at retail. Missing out on the top spot by just one user is the CCM Super Tacks X with 177 users or 23.47%. It's an even newer helmet, having first been seen in January 2021, but has quickly become a player favorite. This bucket is worn by some of the biggest names in the game today: Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, Matthew Tkachuk, and Tage Thompson. This helmet's one of the more protective while also lightweight helmets on the market. CCM references their Nest Tech technology for this model, and similar to the Re-Akt 150, the easy adjustment features on this one are extremely handy. It's a great bucket and it's very breathable too. Now, I'm guilty of trying this helmet on in the store and liking the way it fits, but honestly, at $550 Canadian retail price compared to the Re-Akt 150 at $270 Canadian, there's simply just no way I'd buy this helmet. After a substantial drop off, third place goes back to CCM with the aforementioned CCM Vector V08 with 89 users or 11.81%. Now, I mean, just looking at this image, you can tell how much older it is. We've got the old style foam padding here, whereas on the prior 2 helmets you saw the modern foams and paddings and things like the Bauer comfort pods. I get why a lot of guys still wear this helmet. It's easy, it's simple, it's comfortable, but it fits pretty snug with a lack of customization ability, which isn't great for my big melon. Veterans like Alex Ovechkin and Erik Karlsson wear this lid, but it's funny to me that Connor McDavid and Nathan MacKinnon wear it too, as from what I can find, the helmet was stopped being sold in retail in 2014, which was McKinnon's first year in the NHL and McDavid's second year in the OHL. That's how old this model is. There's a whole rabbit hole that we could go down here regarding Hefter's 2015 lawsuit against CCM for copying their designs, despite CCM buying Hefter and the rights to the helmet in 2005, but that's a story for another day, and I'm far from a lawyer. You came here for hockey talk. The moral of the story is this helmet is old but simple, comfortable, so players love it. Fourth place flip-flops back to Bauer with the Re-Akt 95, as 48 players or 6.37% of the league wear this one. I've had this helmet since it first came out in 2018 as part of the initial Bauer Re-Akt line. That 2018 lineup was the Re-Akt 150, the 95, and the 75. Now today we have the Bauer Re-Akt 150, 100, 85, and 65 from their 2022 Re-Akt line. Like I say, I was always a big fan of the 95, and it seems as though Nikita Kucherov, Elias Pettersson, Brady Tkachuk, and Chris Kreider are fans of it as well, as each are still wearing it this season. It's a pretty snug fitting helmet, but the foam padding is comfortable and the adjustment is great, so it's a quality option even though it's no longer offered at retail due to the 2022 line coming out, like I said. The Re-Akt 85 is the new comparable helmet for this one on the new line, and it's currently listed at $160 Canadian, a good middling price point. In 5th place, we have a tie between the CCM Tacks 710 helmet and the legendary Bauer 4500, each with 47 players using them, or 6.23% of the show. The Tacks 710 dropped in 2017 and was very customizable size and shape-wise for that time. It's still being used today by Artemi Panarin, Matt Barzal, Robert Thomas, and Timo Meier, amongst others. I personally didn't love this helmet, but I do get the appeal of it and how it fits others well. The 710 has now been replaced at retail with the 910, which currently goes for $290 Canadian, the 4th priciest helmet on the market. The Bauer 4500, on the other hand, as diehard fans will know, is the stuff of legends. The 4500 has been worn for countless years at this point, and still so many cool veteran players swear by it. In fact, Eric Goodbranson even told a story recently on Luke Gazdick's podcast called Mitts Off, where Goodbranson detailed he and Trevor Lewis yelling at each other over protecting the last remaining 4500s in the league. Personally, like I mentioned, I've got a big head, so I never found that the 4500 that comfortable for me, but we've got the old school foam piece. It's lightweight, it looks cool, and I'm sure a bunch of you guys watching this video still rock one today. Drew Doughty, Alex Pietrangelo, Steven Stamkos, Evgeny Malkin, TJ Oshie, Ryan O'Reilly, Matt Duchene, Ryan McDonough, Travis Konechny, Kirill Kaprizov, so many studs still wear this helmet. Now that gets us through the top 5 in helmets, and after this there's a pretty substantial drop off, so I'll stop ranking them one by one and we'll just call out some of the more unique buckets and players. I mentioned the Bauer Re-Akt 85 earlier as part of the 2022 Re-Akt line, so it's worth calling out that 7 players wear it today, most notably Alexander Barkov, who just switched to it this year. As Panthers fans will know, Barkov had been rocking the exact same old school Bauer 5100 since his rookie season in 2013-2014, so it was pretty surprising when he made the switch, and credit to Gear Geek for finding that one. Sniper David Pastrnak is the other notable guy wearing the Re-Akt 85 today, which further proves the age-old point that the top-tier players don't always wear the top-tier gear, as this is the mid-tier Re-Akt option at $160 Canadian. To push that point even further, the lowest model, the Re-Akt 65, retails for $110 Canadian, yet that's what Columbus Blue Jackets forward Kirill Marchenko wears. You'll notice I mentioned the price of most helmets through this video, including the most expensive, the CCM Super Tacks X at $550 Canadian, and the 4th most expensive, CCM Tacks 910 at $290. So how come the 2nd and 3rd most expensive weren't listed? Well, the 2nd most expensive helmet at retail is $500 Canadian, which is the Bauer Hyperlight 2. According to Gear Geek, the Hyperlight 2 is not worn by a single NHL player. And the 3rd most expensive, you guessed it, is the original Bauer Hyperlight at $350 Canadian and is also not used by any players in the NHL. I've watched as many review videos and done as much research as I can on the Hyperlight and Hyperlight 2 helmet, and honestly it seems like a great lightweight option, so I'm curious why more pros aren't wearing it, honestly, unless it's uncomfortable. I've personally never tried it out, so let me know down below in the comments if you guys have. What would have been 8th place if we kept going is the first Warrior helmet on this list, as 34 guys rock the Warrior Alpha 1 helmet, including Zach Werenski, Aaron Ekblad, Mark Stone, and Mark Scheifele. I will say this is one of the better looking helmets that Warrior has produced, and I'm a fan of the adjustment dial that they have on the back, but I want to call out that they again have 34 guys using this one, along with 20 using the Covert PX2, and 12 using the Covert CF100. I found this interesting, as unlike CCM and Bauer, they don't have that one model that has a dominant landslide victory over the others. It's pretty spread even across these 3 models from Warrior. Some other notable lids to call out include Chris Letang being the only guy to wear a Bauer 7500, Justin Schultz and Jakob Silverberg are the only 2 wearing a Bauer 9900, Evander Kane and Adam Larson are the only 2 dudes wearing a Bauer 5100, while Sammy Blais is the only one wearing the old CCM Resistance helmet. Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby, is one of the only 3 guys wearing the CCM Fitlight 80 helmet, along with Vladimir Tarasenko and Mike Hoffman. The look of this one is very much like the old Reebok helmets, obviously, which have a ton of nostalgia for me personally. These were popular right as I was growing up, and my buddies and I always had like the Reebok 7K or 8K, 11K helmets with the little silver sections on the side that we'd use a black Sharpie on to black out our helmets because we thought we were sick. But that just about wraps it up for this video. If you're looking looking for my input on what helmet to buy, I would personally look at the Bauer Re-Akt line. I find it super customizable and adjustable, and I think price point wise, it just makes the most sense. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe even learned something about hockey helmets. Hit that subscribe button for me if you didn't already, and like I said, comment down below so we can shoot the shit about hockey. Thanks again for watching. My name's Nick Bowens, and we'll see you here next time.